Good morning, y'all. Welcome to Down Home Bites with Darlene. I've got our main entree going for lunch, so now it's time to make a dessert. Today I'm going to make fudge pie. As I've said before, a lot of my recipes I use are attached to a memory. I remember when I was a really young cook, and it just kind of started, venturing out and inviting people over and things like this. So I invited this couple over and I made this pie. Well, the instructions I was going by called for 2 eggs, but it didn't say to beat them. So I put all the ingredients together, put my 2 eggs in there, baked it in the oven. It looked really pretty and everything. Well, my guests came over, we had a really good dinner, and then it was time for dessert. So I bring the dessert out to the table and I cut a piece and gave it to one of the guests, and he took a bite and then he put his fork down. And I noticed that he wasn't eating it anymore. So I asked him, is something wrong? Do you not like it? And he says, I can't eat something that's looking back at me. So I looked, and those 2 eggs had cooked in the pie whole. So all you saw was 2 egg yolks. So it looked like 2 eyes staring back to you. Lesson learned. This pie also holds a memory of when I was in high school. And on Fridays we had square pizza, and we had this pie, and that began my love of this. So I'm going to adjust the camera and we'll get started. First thing we're going to do is you buy the frozen pie crust and be sure and lay it out so it gets thawed while you're doing everything else. So we're going to do a stick of butter, which is a 1/2 cup melted. And you want to put this in there first in your bowl. Then we're going to put 3 teaspoons of cocoa powder. And the reason we put the butter in there first is we are going to be adding eggs to this, and we don't want the butter to make scrambled eggs. So there's our 3 teaspoons of cocoa powder. I'm going to put a cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of self-rising flour, and a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm using vanilla bean paste, but you can use regular vanilla extract if you want. Okay, now we're going to take the whisk that I have got somewhere. There it is. Blended in with my countertop. So you just kind of mix all this together. Again, it is getting that butter to cool down enough to where we can add the eggs. Okay, so now you add 2 eggs beaten, not whole, or they'll be looking back at you. Mixed up here, and your pie shell, like I said, it does need to be thawed, but you don't bake it yet. This is going into the pie shell unbaked. It'll do everything in the oven that it needs to. And this is so simple. It's one of those things too that, like, if you had guests coming over, you can do it in a hurry. Serve it with vanilla ice cream, or you can even go further. You can add some pecans in it if you wanted to. Okay, so now we take our unbaked pie shell. We're going to put this in there. See, this shouldn't take but just a few minutes to get put together. You do want your oven on 350. Get every bit of this goodness in here that we can. Okay. So now I'm gonna take one of my spoons. Let me get it. Somehow I always forget something. And you smooth it out. Okay. Stay in here so I don't care to stick my fingers in it. And that is it. So it goes in your oven for about 25 minutes or so. But how you'll know this is done, because it is a fudge pie, so it's not going to be cakey like. The center of it will probably be still a little bit, if you stick a toothpick in it, it's probably gonna come out wet. But you can tell by the edges and everything that it's starting to form the pie it's supposed to. So just give it a little jiggle, make sure it's not jiggling all over the place. And if it is, go ahead and just maybe increase it 5 minutes at a time until you see that it looks right. So once it is done, I will come back and give you a little gander of what we're having. Okay, this is after 25 minutes. So let's look. Okay. See, it's still pretty jiggly. So we're gonna put it in for maybe 10 more minutes. Okay guys, it's ready. So you can see where it puffed up some, it starts cracking. That's when you know it's done. So once we cut into it, I will show you what it looks like on the inside. Time for dessert. So this is what it looks like on the inside. That's the reason it's called a fudge pie. There's my piece. I am ready to eat it. Kind of think about putting some vanilla ice cream with it, or maybe eat this piece and then eat another piece with vanilla ice cream. Thanks for joining me. Bye.